Well, hello and good morning. As you can see, the sun is on my face. We've come out for sunrise up onto the hills. We've had a frantic last 10-15 minutes. So when we got up here, the light was coming out. We've been running around and taking shots handheld. And I'm out again with the OM system OM-5, which was just on my last video. This is a camera I've been thinking about, maybe should I buy it, should I not, for coming up into the hills because of its lighter weight. So I'm out with it again, just with a 12 to 100mm lens today, because there's no foreground up here, so this should be the ideal lens for this. So although I've been taking lots of shots handheld already, today we're kind of doing it like a real world scenario, shall we say, you know, coming up into the hills. So I've got the camera on the tripod there, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later, because I'm going to talk about some of the comments I received on the last video. But just for now, look at this scene here. So hopefully you can see it in the back of the camera. Got these beautiful layers just going off in the distance. Got this low cloud coming through. Now at the moment I'm actually shooting in the tripod high-res shot, because there's nothing really moving in the scene, well, apart from the cloud. But the benefit of that is if the high-res shot doesn't work out, you actually get the 20 megapixel version as well. So it takes two shots. So you've got something as a backup if the high-res one doesn't really work out. Now at the moment, the cloud is obscuring the scene, well, kind of semi-obscuring. Thankfully, the low cloud is moving really quickly, so just get these moments where you get the shot. I just need to adjust my exposure, get the shot. It's just a bit too misty at the moment. So I'm just going to continue taking some shots and just change my composition as the light changes, moves across the landscape. So we were just about to go and we had some really nice light, so we've just been taking some more shots. But I mentioned about the tripod, so I've got some notes here that came through the comments on the last video, specifically about the tripod. So one of them was, let's have a look here if I can find them. So why bother with a tripod? The IBIS negates the need even when using ND in high-res mode. Well, in moments like this, at the moment, obviously the light is not, well, the light's there, but the conditions are not as I would want. You know, the cloud is obscuring the view a bit more. So what I want to do is I want to get the camera on the tripod and wait for that moment, rather than going, oh, no, the light's coming out, get the camera up, and get the shot. It's there, I've got the composition I want. Even if I need to change the composition ever so slightly, I can do that. But being on tripod, it just gives me that more, dare I say, stability in getting the shot. I'm not talking about stability as in stable, it gives you that as well. But that's that. I think another one was, if you want to use a tripod, you could get a lighter weight one for hiking. Well, this is my lighter weight for hiking. I think in the video, I may have had my heavier weight King Joy tripod. This is a lighter weight Benro tripod, which I use for walking. And it doesn't go mega tall, so that's the downside to it, but it's good enough for most scenarios in the hills. I say it's that lighter weight. So anyway, the light's coming back, so I'm going to get some more shots. So we've moved, well, we were over on the hill there, and we've walked further around because we want to get this really nice kind of valley here, with the river running through it, and just beautiful hillside there, and the layers to the shot, shall we say, and the light's really nice. So this is actually a very good example of me using the tripod. When we first arrived here, we couldn't see anything. The cloud was, because I say this low cloud just keeps blowing through all the time. And when we first got here, we couldn't see anything. So I set the tripod up. I could see the very bottom, so I could see kind of where the river was. I knew I wanted to be that in the middle of the frame. So I kind of set up a rough composition. And as it happens, when the cloud broke up a bit, the light came out, my composition was spot on. Now I can't really show you the back of the camera. You probably won't be able to see that. That was the shot I got. It's not very good there. Now, back to the comments on the video. One of them was regarding my bag. Now, in the last video again, I mentioned that someone mentioned about my heavy bag. So in that video, I was using my everyday camera bag, which is the Shimoda Explorer or something, and it was a heavier weight camera bag. But when I'm in the hills, I actually use Deuter bags, and this is the one that I have with me today. So this is the Deuter Guide 44 I believe, 34 plus 8, so it's a 42 litre bag. And what I really like about it is on the front you've got what they call the J-zip, so you can open that and you can get inside, or you can just do it the normal way and get in the top. So that is pretty, it's reasonably lightweight, a lot lighter than my camera bag. And I've also got, for my winter hill days, I've got a larger version. I've got the 44 plus 8, which is larger because I'll have more gear, maybe crampons, what have you, a bigger jacket as well. So the scene has gone for now, but as always, we'll just wait for the light to come back and hopefully get some more shots. So as we're walking to our next spot, just want to talk about the capture clips. I use the Peak Design capture clip when I'm in the hills. So when we're walking up the hill, I'll normally have the camera in the bag, but then once we're on location, if we're walking around, I'll put it on the capture clip. It just makes it so much easier. You know, if you're walking along, you see a shot, you'll quickly want to get the shot, which actually is actually just now. I'm going to pass it to my assistant. And zoom in on that. Camera's gone into manual focus by accident. And there we go. So I'll quickly get it back on the capture clip. I'm ready to go again. So while we're waiting for hopefully for the light to hit the scene here, I thought I'd talk about a couple more comments on the last video. So this is kind of the typical thing that you get on videos where you're talking about gear, specifically camera brands or what have you. So I shoot Canon. So there's one is, I wouldn't buy the OM or Canon. Well, they already own two Canons. The Micro Four Thirds sensor has a lot of compromises. If you want light, I suggest a Fujifilm or Leica. Now, I can't afford a Leica by any means. If you want to buy me a Leica, great, I'll go for that. Fuji, maybe lighter, but I don't think it would be lighter as something like the OM-5 or maybe even the OM-3, because the OM system lenses are quite light as well. And another one was, no, stick with full frame. Do not downgrade to a Mickey Mouse system. If you need to upgrade, go to medium format. Well, again, medium format, you're talking probably a Hasselblad. Surely that's going to be, or even a Fuji GFX, and they're going to be heavier. I wouldn't call this a Mickey Mouse camera. I think people call this maybe Mickey Mouse camera just because of the colours. I don't necessarily like the colours of the particular one, but they do silver and black or black. I'd probably go for the silver and black one. So yeah, that's just kind of your typical person who uses a particular brand already, and that's the one that everyone should get. Yes, I shoot Canon, but I wouldn't necessarily say shoot Canon. Shoot the camera that works for you, that feels, first and foremost, feels good in the hand. This is a small camera. It actually feels not too bad in my hand. I have trouble sometimes with the buttons on the back of the camera when I'm wearing gloves, especially the OK button, but I actually have one of the top buttons set up to do the same functions. So yeah, we've got some low cloud coming over. The sun is behind us, but it's behind clouds at the moment, so we'll just have to wait and see if it's able to get a little bit lower into the valley there. Well, we've been sat here for well over an hour now, and our scene is in the cloud. It's been like that for quite some time now. We've had no light. We had a little break of the cloud, took one shot, maybe okay, nothing amazing. But before we're going to carry on now because we're getting cold, because as I said, we've been sat here for well over an hour. So we're going to get moving again. But before we do that, I just want to thank everyone for their interaction in the last video. Very much appreciated. If you want to see more landscape photography content from me, please do consider subscribing. And yeah, we're just going to carry on and see if we can maybe get below this cloud and see what's there. So that's us heading down now. We had a nice bit of light behind us a moment ago, took a couple of shots. We didn't really get anything up until this point, when we had the clouds. So yeah, just carried on down to here. So we're going to make our way back down through the valley here, down to the car. And hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And until the next video, bye bye.